Am I the a-hole for inviting my mom to my wedding after she called my fiance embarrassing? I'm engaged to Tiffany and I love her with all of my heart. Unfortunately, my mom has never seemed supportive of our relationship, and it's pretty clear to me she doesn't enjoy Tiffany. This has been a huge point of contention between my mother and I've made it clear that she needs to begin making an effort if she wants to be in our lives. She continues to try to get away with excluding her, so I've had to come down hard with boundaries. Recently, my mom was going touring production of a Broadway show that Tiffany has been dying to see but was unable to get tickets to. My mom was going with her sister, who woke up with a fever and chills, so she was going to invite her secretary as her friends happened to be out of town. I told my mom that it was ridiculous that Tiffany wasn't even her fourth choice. I explained this was deeply hurtful and asked her to consider her future daughter-in-law over her assistant. She ended up letting Tiffany go, but when it was time to go, I saw my mom's face change. Tiffany is a huge girly girl and just loves to dress up, which unfortunately she doesn't get many chances to do at the moment. She went all out for her show in a floor-length sparkly number with her hair done at beautiful makeup. Apparently, someone said in the comment section that he showed like OP showed the dress and on his page. I didn't see it because I was gonna put the screenshot in here that the dress had like a lot of cleavage and the show was like gonna be a Frozen theme. So I guess it was inappropriate to say, but you know what I mean. She went all out for the show in a floor-length sparkly number with her hair done up in beautiful makeup. My mom was wearing flare leggings, a sweater, and Converse, and didn't even try to hide her disgust. She asked if Tiffany was aware that no one dressed up for a performing arts center. Tiffany admitted she might have gone a little overboard, but explained she just loves to dress up. My mom complained that she was going to feel embarrassed. I told her to stop and they went on their way. Well, it has recently come to my attention that my mom texted my aunt, including pictures of Tiffany taken without her knowledge, and complained about how embarrassed she was. She said everyone was looking at them and some people were snickering. My aunt was making jokes back and I became furious. I demanded my mom explain to me and she said I was being ridiculous. She said she could talk to her sister about whatever she wanted and we needed to grow up. She blamed me for pushing Tiffany on her in the first place and claimed it was super embarrassing and everyone was giving Tiffany weird looks. I lost it and told her she was uninvited from the wedding if that is what she really thinks. She got really quiet and said okay if that was what I really wanted and said I was unwilling to compromise or make things work. Now the rest of the family is calling me an a-hole and saying I will regret not having my mom at my wedding. But Tiffany feels very happy and supported. Top comment, never in a million years did I think I would side with the mother-in-law over the wife in a story like this, but you are the a-hole. Your mom's not obligated to invite your wife to things, especially one-on-one things. Your wife wasn't being excluded from a family event and forcing your mom to give her extra ticket to someone she doesn't get along with is wrong. I love to dress up as much as the next person, but a floor-length gown is way too much, especially when your mom didn't want to invite her in the first place. I don't know. I disagree and I agree. I just feel like the mother-in-law didn't really like her to begin with. So no matter what the woman did or no matter what the occasion was, the outcome was always going to be the outcome. But what do you guys think? Am I wrong for getting upset when my mom told me that being disabled is my own fault? I, female 18, was run over by a car when I was 6. I was in a coma for a month. One of my legs were crushed beyond repair and had to be amputated. While I was unconscious, my parents couldn't stop arguing, each blaming the other, saying the other was supposed to be looking after me. I woke up to discover my leg missing and my parents separated. They later got divorced. Mom had primary custody of us, while we only got to see our dad every other weekend. I have 2 brothers, aged 4 and 7 at the time. They both blamed me for the divorce, though as they got over the shock, they realized it was unfair and apologized to me. I discovered recently that my mom has continued to secretly blame me. I had a prosthetic leg and with it I'm able to be independent, including taking the public bus to school by myself. On the journey to school in the morning, it's always very busy, and some people have to stand. Most people take this bus every day and know me, and someone always offers me their seat if there are none available when I get on. I can't stand because it's hard for me to keep balance. This morning, there was an empty seat in the section reserved for disabled and elderly people, so I took it. The lady I sat down next to, she looked to be in her late 50s maybe, told me that I shouldn't be sitting there, that I was young and healthy, so I should stand. Also, her friend was getting on in a few stops, and she was an old lady who deserved the seat more than me. I chose not to dignify her with a response, though my younger brother and some kids from my school who heard her were trying to tell her that I did need it. Her friend got on the bus, and the lady told me to get up. I didn't move. My schoolmates continued to tell her I needed it, and my brother told me to lift up my trousers so she would see. I told him I wouldn't. This was sadly not the first time I was harassed on public transport, and I was done with the BS. I know I have a right to stay in the seat, and not everyone is able to visually prove their disability, so I refused to do so. The bus driver got involved and told her to stop harassing me or she would have to get off. She would not, so the driver made her get off. Her friend was not made to get off. She listened to my schoolmates and tried to calm her friend down. When I told the story to my mom, she said I was rude and should have given my seat. She said that I wasn't born with my disability. I ended up like this because I was dumb and reckless. It's true that I ran into the road without looking. The driver of the car couldn't stop. It wasn't his fault. He waited with me until an ambulance came and even wrapped his jumper around my wound to stop the bleeding. I was unconscious for this, but witnesses saw it. It was my fault, but I was also 6 years old, and I think I've been punished enough. My mom kept going. It was like a floodgate had opened. She told me if I hadn't been so dumb, I would still have my leg and she would still have a husband. Now I have felt guilty over the years and thought the same thing to myself. Then I'd reassure myself that no one else blames me. My brothers only did because they were young and in shock. Dad even said so himself that the divorce was none of us kids' fault. I couldn't believe that I had actually heard those words come out of her mouth. Mom immediately clamped her hand over her mouth, then started apologizing and said she didn't mean it. I didn't want to listen to her apologies. I was very hurt by what she had told me. I went to my room crying. I decided I didn't want to be here, so I packed my suitcase and called my dad. He told me he'd be right there. After I finished packing, I heard shouting, so I went to the front door where Dad was really laying into Mom. Mom was crying. When she saw my suitcase, she told me I couldn't just leave, but I told her I'm 18 and can do as I wish. And OP just made an update saying thank you guys for all the nice messages. I guess people were supporting her. And then she just said that nothing new happened. There was no news aside from just that she's still with her daddy. She's at her father's house, and her mom's trying to apologize for saying what she said. But honestly, it's really sad to say something but to your own child. What does a 6-year-old child know? It's a 6-year-old child. At the end of the day, nobody wants to be amputated. Nobody wants to be missing a leg and be disabled for the rest of their life. I'm pretty sure she already feels guilty for running into the road when she was only a child. And why is a 6-year-old running into... The thing is, honestly, because kids are so... sometimes kids can be so frustrating. You can watch them the whole entire day, and as soon as you turn around, they will do something that they have no business doing. So anyway, I don't even feel like I'm blaming the parents, but even then, we're being understanding of not blaming the parents, but yet she's blaming her daughter for doing something that a 6-year-old does, which is being reckless and being all over the place. She's 6-year-old children do crazy things they have no business doing. That's why they need parents and guidance and someone to watch them 24/7. But yeah.